Hello, hello. Welcome to today's episode of the Mind Soulful Show. Today is the Mind Soulful Monday, and I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why gratitude is your most powerful attitude, right? 5 reasons why gratitude is your most powerful attitude, especially for the present moment. And for those of you that are new to me, hello, my name is Brooke-Sidney. I'm a soul story coach, which means I help souls remember who they are and boldly and courageously live out their lives right now and help this world by changing lives one person at a time. And I know people that have been following me for a long time know that I believe in heaven. I just don't think that we have to wait to get to heaven to love who we are and love ourselves right now in this present moment. And I help people two main ways. Two main ways. For those of you that know me, some people know me as a lawyer. I still do legal work. But the primary focus of my life and business right now is to help people in two major ways. The first one is through spiritual wellness coaching. I want women, especially my single mamas out there, of which I'm also a single mama, I want us free from any baggage, inner healing things, any constraints, anything that is holding us back from living our best life right now. And by best life, I mean loving our lives, being free in our lives, being abundant, having the best role models and examples for our children. And I also believe loving God. So that to me is living free and full in all of what God has created us to be and for God's highest and best use, right? The second way that I help people is for those of us that have done the inner healing work, which is how I help people on the first one. For those of us that have done that inner healing work, God has given each of us a powerful story and a powerful voice that we should share in order to help other people grow. God has specifically assigned me, He has called me to the authors and the writers that know they have a story to tell. That is, that they know that what they went through, that pain that they went through has a purpose, that everything up until this very moment is designed not only to heal them, but to help them heal others. Literally, God told me in my deepest and darkest times when I was going through my divorce, when I had gotten to a point where I knew I was going to become a single mother, which is exactly what I did not plan for, nor did I want, right? When I felt like I was truly at rock bottom. God told me, heal yourself so you can heal others. And so I am on this path to ensure that everyone who God is also sharing that same message and that same inner prompting to share their story. So I help authors and writers write their stories as a ghostwriter, as an author coach, as an accountability coach, and as an editor to make sure that your stories, your voice, your power, the things that have made you have pain now have purpose. So today I'm getting on to talk about 5 reasons why gratitude is your most powerful attitude, especially in the present moment. Many of you that have been following me for a while, or you're watching my channel, or have seen me on Facebook or Instagram, you know, or listening to my podcast. You guys, I have the Mind Soulful Show. Whether you're listening to me now, on the Mind Soulful Show, you know that I talk about gratitude a lot. I believe that gratitude is one of the best tools, practices, and attitudes and habits that we can develop in order to be happier, right? Be happier, but B, also live the life that God has designed for us to live and that wants us to live. And so I have 5 reasons why it is so important to have gratitude as our most powerful attitude. But I also wanted to start with a story because today's gratitude really is linked to my own personal experience. As I was saying before, I'm a divorced single mother, call myself indie mama for those of us that are independent mamas handling things. But at the end of the day, I am a single mother, and I had my son's 6th birthday party over the weekend. And for to bring you a little up to speed, my ex-husband and I, we co-parent, and we actually had a joint birthday party for my son over the weekend. And of course, I wouldn't be human if that didn't stir up thoughts, emotions, even reminiscing, even a little bit of pain, right? Even though I'm pretty healed on that, but it still will take you, certain present day moments will take you to the past, right? Certain things, if you allow them, will take you to the past. And so, definitely reminded me of when we've been doing joint birthday parties, I think for the past 2 years, and this might be the third. Yeah, 18th, 19th, and 20th. Yeah, those 3 years. And if you had told me when we were separating in 2016 and divorcing in 2017 that we would ever be able to have co-parenting parties, I would have looked and said, the devil is a lie. Like, I wouldn't have been able to fathom it. It would have been something I thought was purely for television or purely for Hollywood. But we've been able to do that. And I credit that for both of us putting our son's needs first, as well as I know for me doing the healing work that I credit God for, and I help my clients with. But definitely, if I had allowed myself to think about the past, I would have missed out on the moment. And so what I did was I truly chose to focus on being grateful in that moment, being grateful yesterday for having the relationship to be able to have that type of a party, for God, for enabling me to heal, for my mother being there, for the joy of my son, for the blessing of being able to provide this level of a party for not only for my son, but for his friends and for his family, and just being able to be present and always bringing myself back, bringing my thoughts captive to God, but bringing them back into the present moment, which really helps us stay centered in gratitude. So by bringing the moments back to the present, not allowing myself to focus on the past, as well as being grateful, shifting my energy, shifting my thoughts to what God is doing for me right now, rather than focusing on the past. And so what I'm telling you today is not something that I am living or not living, if that makes sense. If it's something I'm just making it up and it's fun and it's cute to teach on, no, literally gratitude from God, being grateful for what God has given me has been one of the strongest and best healing practices that I have. So, what I want to say, first of all, one of the reasons why gratitude is your most powerful attitude is that gratitude attitude really creates a feeling, an attitude, and a position of being content, being appreciative. It shifts your heart posture. We know that God looks at our heart. So many of us, we focus on the outer, how our Instagram looks, how pretty we are, how much makeup. For those people that wear lashes and hair, I actually don't. But there's nothing against that. But I'm saying, like, what you see basically is what you get. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't care how I look or appear, right? But God is not looking at that. God's looking at the inside. And truly the fruit of our lives are manifested from the inside out. And so when we practice gratitude, when we have a gratitude attitude, it creates within us a sense of contentment for our lives. It pushes out discontent, which I think is my second part of my second point. But really, it creates this appreciation for the moment, an appreciation for lives. It's one of the ways that we bring heaven down right now to earth is by being happy with what we have and being happy for who we are in this present moment. That has nothing to do with not wanting more. We're free to always want more, but we have to start from where we are and love exactly where we are. So that's number one, is that gratitude is so powerful as an attitude and a heart posture because it creates contentment, it creates appreciation, it allows us to see our blessings. The second thing is that why it's so powerful to be grateful is because without it, we lack contentment, which keeps us stuck in the past. As I was saying before in my earlier story, is that the enemy, our ego, negative thinking, low vibes, whatever you want to say, would love to keep us stuck in the past. It would have loved to have kept me down and sad about what I thought my life was going to be like, or anything to create discontent, to create unhappiness, to create a lack of peace, and that's not of God. But to create those things in those moments, it's taking them away. So it's also, more importantly, it's keeping us stuck in the past, and that's why it's so important. Gratitude keeps us in the present. Gratitude keeps us in the moment, focusing our thoughts there, keeping them captive, in God and in the present moment. That's what I talk about, soulful mindfulness. It keeps us there so we're not stuck in the past, okay? That's point number 2. Point number 3 is that people, believe it or not, is we all know, as a man thinketh, so he is. What we concentrate on, we bring more of. What we focus on, we see more of. That is in essence how we manifest and how we attract things. So if we want to attract and manifest God's goodness from an abundant place, that means we need to appreciate what we have now. We need to make sure that we're being grateful for every single thing that's coming across our path. Every single thing that we can show gratitude for and be happy about, let's do it. Let's attract more. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on all that God is doing for us right now. That's number 3, because we want to manifest or attract from God's goodness, from that abundant place, not from that discontentment place, not from that place of lack. Woo! We never want to sit in lack. And when we allow ourselves to not appreciate what we have and we move into discontentment and we find ourselves being stuck in the past, we are sitting in lack, we're sitting in scarcity. And lack and scarcity only breeds more lack and scarcity. And that's why gratitude to me is the greatest disruptor of it. When we bring gratitude in, it brings us back into the moment. It brings those negative thoughts captive. It has us focusing on what God has given to us now. And therefore, we start changing what we are aligning ourselves with, what we are attracting, and what we're manifesting by what we are focusing ourselves on. Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. That is how we soulfully or spirit-led manifest, is by focusing on God's goodness and what God has for us and lining up with that and not allowing anything, the enemy, negative thoughts, low vibes, to pull us back, right? That's how we create from a God place and in line with God's heart and in God's will. So number 4, if you haven't figured it out, is that when we're not grateful and we allow ourselves to go backwards, right, to focus on the past, be discontented with our lives, we allow our joy to be stolen. A lack of gratitude allows things that happen in our lives, distractions, disappointments, the past, worrying about the future, to steal our present day joy. That's why it's so, so incredibly important for us to be grateful right now in this present moment. And I know that it's not always hard. Trust me, I know. That's why I created the gratitude challenges that I've had in the past, because I know how difficult it can be, especially when you're in a dark place, especially don't know where you're going to live. I was sleeping on a couch with my son, especially when you don't know where you're going to live. You don't know how your life's going to turn out, when your life has ended up in a different place than how you intended it or even prayed for. If we don't find just a morsel, just a bit, just a grasp of light to begin to focus on, to be grateful for, we can allow our whole light to be overshadowed by darkness, and to have like depression and anxiety and all these things steal our joy. I am a champion for joy. That joy comes through God. That joy comes through gratitude. That joy comes from being soulfully mindful, from in the present moment. We build on our moments. Moment to moment to moment is where we are building our joy, and we're building our happiness, and we're building a practice of being grateful in the moment. And the last point number 5, right? Point number 5 is that the God I serve, the God I love, Spirit, is a now God, right? Is a God that brings gratefulness, is a God that looks at our heart. And so gratitude to me is a present day reminder that our God is a today God. Our God is a now God. Our God is a moment God. And when we are living in a grateful spot for all that God has given us and is giving us in this present moment, God is working in this moment right now as I am speaking to each and every one of you that are currently listening. Know that God is working, God is speaking, God is doing, and If we are quiet and if we are grateful, we are in full reception of it. And so I love gratitude because it allows me to turn my heart and my mind and my thoughts to the creator, the source of all that has given me the life and the breath that I am speaking right now. Whew, that to me again is soulful mindfulness, soulful manifestation and mindset. Like all of that is by focusing our thoughts and our hearts on being grateful for all that God has given us and is currently giving us in this present moment, because our God is a today God, a now God, an event, and in this moment God, showing us that we are creating in this moment, we are living in this moment, we are reflecting God's light and goodness in this moment, and gratitude allows us to do that. Y'all, gratitude allows that to do that. So I love that you have joined me today as I discussed, the 5 reasons why gratitude is your most powerful attitude, especially in the moment, and how it can help us shift to have more of the things in our lives that we want them to be. If you know that this message has pricked a part in your heart, or you hear God pushing you, tugging you to get something healed, I invite you to schedule either a clarity call so we can get that quick shift, or apply to work with me in a discovery session, a discovery chat. I'll give the links below. But if you know that you have healed something and that God has really put something on your heart to share, not just for you, right? God works through us, but for others as well. So much of what we go through is really enabling other people to see God in you as well as be healed through you. And so if that is you and you are feeling the urge to write a book, I invite you wholeheartedly to schedule a book chat so that I can help you birth His story, right? His story through you, and bring your book dream alive in 2020. This is not the year nor the decade for waiting. This is the year for doing. It is a year for becoming. It is also the year, I feel like, for being obedient to what we're hearing and what God is calling us to do. And so I encourage you to do that. As I say, I'm so thankful for those of you that have tuned in with me today. Catch me here every Monday. Today is a Tuesday because of the holiday, but catch me every Monday for my Mind Soulful Mondays, as well as the Mind Soulful show, where you can listen to on all the major podcast outlets, as well as my YouTube channel. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. The biggest compliment, the biggest tip is for you to leave a comment, to love, not just like this video, and to share it out. I am wishing you an amazing and blessed week, and I will talk with you soon.